Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the Furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 12, episode 8, and today we've got our unexpected extra episode as we've made it to Wembley for the first time in the FA Cup for a semi-final clash against Manchester City. It's going to be a very tough ask to cause yet another shock in this competition, but we're going to give it everything we've got, and as long as we put in a good performance, I'll be absolutely delighted with the lads. You can see we've got our 2 January loanees cup tied as they normally are. Tom Allingham's still out with his injury, which kept him out of the quarter-final and all of the games since. Let's go and have a look at those games though so you can see how we've been getting on. Unfortunately, Lee Rutherford's heroics against Manchester United were just a one-off in the end. We drew 2-2 at home to the worst side in the Premier League. We took an easy 2-0 lead after the international break. Lappin and Vladimir with the early goals, but then Tyrese John Jules got a brace for Sheffield United as we really went to sleep, and we were quite lucky not to lose the game in the end against the side who were definitely going down. But then in midweek we had a slightly more positive outing. We played almost all of our reserve team away to Aston Villa. Where possible we did it anyway. Stevie Maxwell from the first 11 was in goal. Hearn and Eyre played out wide, and we also had to play James Hayes as we had a crisis in central midfield. Jay Taylor couldn't play because it's his parent club. We still had Allingham out injured, and Ray Probert was on international duty and for some reason didn't get back until yesterday. It looks like Aston Villa are in a new stadium as well. I didn't notice that when we were playing the game, but due to the players we had available for that one, we actually reverted to an old school 4-4-2, a standard flat 4-4-2, no changes at all, no asymmetric formations, just a bog standard as you like as we were playing in non-league, and it worked pretty well in the end. We managed to nick a draw thanks to Bobby Duncan's goal. So a good result there. It meant that Villa didn't get any closer to us, and we've almost secured survival now. We said we were looking for that one more win, and although we're a little bit disappointed with the Sheffield United game, it is 2 draws, which is almost as good. We're now up to 36 points in 13th place, and we're still 13 clear of 18th place Brentford. So all is looking well there. Mathematically we can't finish bottom anymore, and with one more point Leicester won't be able to catch us either, which means we're not a million miles away now. So hopefully Brentford lose their game in hand, and then all is pretty much wrapped up, and we can just enjoy the last few games of the season. Fingers crossed we'll have an FA Cup final to look forward to as well, but that is very much pushing things at the moment. City have got Venturini doubtful today though, a player who scored a hat-trick on the first day of the season this year if you remember, to put us to the sword in a 3-2 defeat. So let's get into the game and see the lineup. Our dynamics are looking slightly better at the moment as we are obviously unbeaten in 3 games. We've got a few problems potentially facing us in the summer, but again we'll worry about those on the last day of the season. For now we're fully focused on our FA Cup tie and being massive underdogs against Manchester City. Leicester, despite facing relegation, are in the other semi-final. They're playing against high-flying Arsenal, so fingers crossed they'll be able to do well, and if we can pull off a shock as well, it could be a Torquay v Leicester final for an FA Cup winners medal and a place in Europe next year. I'm very much getting ahead of myself as you can tell, so let's get into the game before I make any other bold statements. We're in decent form now, but City are 1-4 on the bounce, as you'd expect from a top 4 side. They're doing well in all competitions, and Zinedine Zidane's got them playing good football and littered with world-class talent. They're heavy favourites just as Manchester United were in the last round, but we know that doesn't mean everything as we head to a packed-out Wembley. I think last time we were here, correct me if I'm wrong, was for the National League playoff final back in season 2. I'm pretty sure we haven't been there since, unless we maybe lost in a Checkatrade Trophy final. I can't remember if we got to one in the end. Correct me if I'm wrong, as you'll probably remember better than me. But we've got pretty much our first 11 out today. The lineup you've probably got used to by now. We have got a slightly patched together bench, and obviously in these games we are putting a sub-keeper on there just so we don't get caught with an outfield player in goal. It's Maxwell in goal for today though. Hopefully he'll get through the 90 minutes. Cisse and Lonergan Irwin are the fullbacks with Leclerc and Bedger in the middle. Vladimir's in the holding role with Hayes and Lappin in central midfield, and then Aaron Kosler the wingers with Rutherford up front. We'd love him to repeat his heroics from the last round. Let's get into the game then. We'll stick with our positive mentality for now, but I'm pretty sure after 5 or 10 minutes we might be forced to revert to balanced. Let's see if we can get a shock result as City come in with an attacking 4-2-3-1. They've got Parrott up front and Mane in attacking midfield. Venturini's nowhere to be seen, which is great, and again they've got a couple of real players still in the side. De Ligt at centre half and Barella in central midfield. They've got Archer and Edison on the bench, a couple of other players we recognise too, but let's go and give the team talk and see if we can pull off another almighty shock. We're going to calmly tell the lads there's no pressure on them at all. They can go out and show what they've got, and hopefully that'll be enough if City have an off day to put us through to a maiden final. As you'd expect for the FA Cup semi-final, we have got a tunnel interview as well, and they've only asked why we've made Kozul captain, because he's been captain so many times, and we know he'll set the tone for us and continue to work hard. Here's Lappin giving the ball away after just 9 seconds of play, and now Mane can surge forwards for City and into the box on the right. Cisse heads away as far as Lonergan Irwin, Air flicks it yet further, and it's gone as far as Barella, who gets the ball down, and the highlight ends with a score still goalless. Well, what a quiet first quarter of the game, a bit of a surprise. We'd probably take that for 90 minutes in honest. Here's Duday in the middle though for City, the player we desperately tried to sign 12 months ago. Ottenor finds Barella in the middle. He goes all the way back to the centre half. Having said that, we haven't had a shot on goal yet despite the lack of highlights. City have had 4 with 1 on target and have dominated possession as well. Basato comes into the box and he's challenged. Leclerc hacks it away with his weaker foot, but unfortunately it's sliced behind for a corner. Gonzalez will take it for City. Into the leg, it bounces down, a brilliant save by Maxwell and then a block to deny Barella, and it's cleared away to the halfway line where Ottenhoff's got it back to Mane. He's charging at the defence, it's fallen for Gonzalez, Barella on the edge shoots, but it's high and wide, it's an awful effort in the end, and with 25 minutes gone we still survive at 0-0. Rutherford with a free kick at the other end, our first shot of the match is blocked, it's fallen to Kozul at the back post though, and it's been cleared away for a throw-in. Cisse takes it to Hernan, he gets it back to Cisse again and now Lappin, the hero in the quarter-final of course, he finds Rutherford, puts Kozul in, brilliant block by the right back for City, and the ball's finally cleared, and with half an hour gone it's still 0-0, and we've even started to show some attacking intent. Here's Kozul to Rutherford, we're coming forward again here, Rutherford charges forward into Hernan, he's put it in the top corner, we lead 1-0 against Manchester City. Who would have seen that coming? Certainly not me. After soaking up pressure for 25 minutes, we've created a couple of chances, and Hernandez put it into the top corner, with Rutherford again playing a key part in the goal. It's a goal kick with Maxwell now to Leclerc. He's gone back to Maxwell again. We will think about dropping to a balanced mentality in a moment. Let's just see if we can hold off City for this chance. Moreira's got the ball in the middle for them. He switches it wide to Ottenorf on the left. Tries to deliver to Parrott. Good header in the end, but it's down low to Maxwell's left, and he manages to get down and claim it easily. We are going to drop to balance for the rest of the half. Just want to see things out as we see a Cisse long throw from the left hand side. Ottenorf gets it away and now City can counter, but Cisse manages to hold them up. It falls for Mane though, who gets it into Parrott. Brilliant touch and a fantastic tackle. Beja with a last ditch sliding challenge. Excellent work from the centre half. Basato with a throw in for City. It's all Manchester City now. Parrott in the box to Gonzalez. Hits the post, hits Maxwell, and then he's ended up dropping it behind for a corner. I have no idea what was going on there. An end-to-end first half, although it's mostly City attacking at our end, but Maxwell manages to claim another cross. A brilliant bit of work by the keeper. Lonergan Irwin's had a poor game, as has Cisse on the other side. Maybe we'll think about that change in the second half, dropping our fullbacks to a more defensive duty. But we lead 1-0 at the break and we couldn't have ever seen that coming. A wonderful first half performance, brilliant defensive work from the lads, and a lovely finish from Hernan, another one of our big signings from last summer. Our only shot on target and we lead via it. Let's talk to the lads and tell them it was brilliant. I'm so excited with where we stand at the moment. It would be a dream to take this Torquay side to an FA Cup final. So let's go to our tactics. We are going to change the fullbacks, just put them on the standard duty, defensive fullbacks, no attacking intent, and we'll leave the other lads to push forward as needed. It seems like our central midfielders are struggling as well, so I think we're just going to drop their duties too. Hayes will drop to a deep line playmaker on defend, and Lappin an advanced playmaker on support, just bringing them down one notch from previously, and then later on we can obviously pull the wingers back if needed and think about more defensive changes. But let's get into the second half and see if we can get to the 3/4 of an hour mark, up towards that 70 minutes, without making any goals conceded and being able to make some changes. Moreira into Mane, he shoots straight away, and City at the post with 20 seconds gone as the coherence of my sentences starts to disappear. Here's a free kick on the right for Air, an hour gone, it's in towards Hayes, Gonzalez heads away as far as Kozul. Here's Hernan again, tries to shoot and it forces a save down to the keeper's left hand side, but it's tame and easy to hold. Hernandez had a brilliant game and we still lead 1-0. We're clinging on for dear life. 3/4 of the game gone, we have held on so far, but now Barella's got the ball on the edge. He finds Parrott, turns his defender, brilliant effort from Parrott, and Maxwell's gone and palmed it in. After a brilliant season, he's decided to make a howler now, and although it had plenty of power on it, his shield should have kept it out. It's delivered into the box and De Ligt clears away, and now City have got a 3-on-2. What on earth's going on here, and why are our players not getting back? Gonzalez comes forwards on the left. He puts it over the bar, and thankfully we survive, and we're going to have to think about substitutions now. The midfielders' ratings got even worse, and they have been overrun in this game, so we're going to put them back to their traditional mentalities, as we need to find a way to get a goal now anyway. Talasise's had a poor game and is apprehensive, but we don't have any substitutes on the bench, not that can play at right back anyway. Vladimir's nervous, so we'll bring on the experienced Rowan McDonald, and on the left-hand side I'm tempted to take off Kozul, but I don't really want to make defensive changes yet. So let's get back into the game with just that one change made, and hopefully it'll make a difference in the last 20 minutes. Just over 10 to go. We've fired up most of the lads by encouraging them. We are going to make one more sub, but I'm going to leave it for 2 more minutes. The plan was to take off Hayes, but he's fired up by the feedback, so let's just see if he can do something special. We have to accept that the players on the bench aren't any better, so it's probably not going to increase our chances. James Hayes is going to come off though, and the only option we've really got is Ray Probert, so the youngster's going to come on remarkably for an appearance in an FA Cup semi-final. Can he make the difference? He'd certainly be a hero, but it looks like City chasing a winner. Bentley's got the ball on the edge, brilliant save by Maxwell, and it's behind for a corner kick. If we can see out stoppage time, we've got as much of a chance. We can just hang on for extra time and penalties. Albano heads the corner wide, we survive for another minute, and now just 2 of stoppage time remain as Maxwell hoofs the ball long. It's gone to Ottenhoff, the left back. We really need to find a way to get Talasise off. He's had a terrible game, but Nico Williams is the one we sacrificed on the bench, and I think we might end up regretting that, as it could cost us this FA Cup tie. Ottenhoff to Albano and out Artur. He gets it into Barella. Back to the centre half again. City dominating possession. There's only one team that look like winning this at the moment, and it's the side that have already had 27 shots. Here they come again in midfield with Barella. Goes for the long switch to Parrott, but Lonergan Irwin heads away to the right back. Hernaner hacks it away further, and Rutherford's going to chase now. The Lig mops up well though, and Barella gets it wide to Ottenhoff. A very long highlight, so we know what that normally means, and Hernaner gets back to make a brilliant tackle, so they aren't going to score just yet. Is there any way I can get Talasise off? We've got to have a look at it now. He's really struggling and it may well cost us. I'm even tempted to bring Ross Taylor on. We are going to leave it for the last minute of stoppage time. Fingers crossed we'll hang on for that long. Ottenhoff takes it into Williams. He finds Bentley, tries to cut it back, but it deflects back off him and out for a goal kick. I think that's just about going to see us through to extra time. Maxwell's taking as long as he can. We haven't got time wasting on, but he's obviously judging the game well. He goes long up towards the left back and Ottenhoff hacks it back forward. The final whistle goes and we're into extra time. I have no idea what that weird glitch was with the pitch, but we are going to go and talk to the lads and tell them they're doing an excellent job. So we're going to passionately say we're pleased with them, ask them to keep it going, but I don't know how much more they've got in the tank, but we have got 2 substitutes at our disposal now, so we can use those a bit later on if need be. Let's get back into extra time, and fingers crossed we can hang on for penalties. Although we haven't got any good takers, it's probably our best chance of getting through at this stage, although Dimitri Lapin's been a hero once before, so maybe he can do it again 2 rounds in a row. Lonergan Irwin gives the ball away to Barella. Maybe Lonergan Irwin wants City through. He did come through at the club, so he may well be a supporter, as Paul Williams heads the ball wide for City. The first chance of extra time goes begging, and we still survive at 1-1. It's a corner for Manchester City. Artur takes it. Barella heads over the bar and Lonergan Irwin's rating skyrocketed down. That sentence didn't make any sense at all, but of course you know what I mean. Adam Lewis will come on at left back just to see out the last 20 minutes, and hopefully he's a decent penalty taker as well, as he used to be our regular taker in League One and the Championship. So we've almost made it to half time in extra time without really seeing any danger on our goal, and the City players are starting to get a little bit nervy now, as they're obviously the heavy favourites and expected to have won comfortably. Ray Probert's picked up a yellow for us though, so we've got to be a little bit careful of that. Artur into the back post is headed away to Bentley, and he's hit the crossbar as well. The 3rd time City have hit the woodwork, but as we get to half time in extra time, we've managed to hang on for a draw so far. We've got one more change at our disposal. Who are we going to take off? We'll start the second half quickly first, see out this highlight, and then we'll make a change with a view to penalty shootouts and seeing if we can bring on someone who's a good taker. We could even swap keepers because Lee Milne's a good penalty taker, but that could be a risky move as I'm not as sure he'll be able to save some. Okay, 2.5 minutes to go in extra time. We're just seeing out this highlight. I know what my fourth change is going to be now with penalties in mind, but we've got to make sure we don't concede before I'm able to do that. We'll do it at the last possible minute as Maxwell comes and claims a corner, and he's certainly made up for his early error since as we get to the last minute of extra time. So the change we're going to make, Jimmy Lindstrom coming on for Hernan, only because Lindstrom's got a penalty taking rating of 8, which is slightly better than any of our other players, and Hernan-Air's got the worst of those on the pitch with a rating of 5 amongst our attacking players. The only other candidate was Bobby Duncan. His penalty taking rating's 4, but he's scored in all of our shootouts so far this year, but I just want to go on attribute at the moment. I don't want to have to do thinking about other things. 30 seconds plus an added minute to go, and it looks like we've made it to a penalty shootout. A fantastic effort from the lads. Again, they've done themselves proud and rose to the occasion, and we've just got to hope that we can get some lady luck now, and I've got another big decision to make. Matthew Leclerc has missed every penalty bar one since he joined the club, but his penalty taking rating's 18. Do I risk him in this one, or do I leave it and put him last? I really don't know what to do with it, so we are just going to go and pick our shootout takers. We get rid of everyone on the screen. Lee Rutherford goes first, Daniel Kozzel second, Adam Lewis in the crucial third place. I think I have to put Leclerc fourth because Ray Probert's just a youngster and Jimmy Lindstrom's been on the pitch 1 minute. We'll put Lindstrom in 5th place, Ray Probert 6th, Dimitri Lapp in 7th, Talasise in 8th, and then we'll just go in order. McDonald 9th, Bedger 10th, and Stevie Maxwell down in 11th. Let's get into the shootout, and fingers crossed we'll get some luck. Rutherford will step up first. If he doesn't score, we know it's over. Can he put the penalty in? Sends the keeper the wrong way. Composed finish from Lee Rutherford. Brilliant work by the striker. Arthur's stepping up. Can we have some Maxwell heroics, please? Maxwell down to the right side, but he doesn't manage to get a finger on it, and it goes into the bottom corner. Another good penalty this time from City, and now Daniel Kozzel steps up. He's put it straight down the middle. At least make the keeper do a bit of work. He's literally just kicked it at him and said, stay there. You can have the ball right now. Julian steps up for City. We need some Maxwell heroics now, but he's not able to produce them as the Manchester City striker actually manages to make him move. Adam Lewis steps up now. We need some heroics from him too. Smashes it in the top corner. He's always been a reliable penalty taker, but we really need Stevie Maxwell to make a save now. Barella, the experienced central midfielder, saved by Maxwell. Brilliant work down to his right hand side and even held on to it too. But this is the moment I'm nervous about. Leclerc stepping up 4th. He's put it into the bottom corner. What a fantastic penalty, and he's finally delivered in a shootout. Here comes Bentley for City. If Maxwell saves this, we just need to score to get through, and he does save it down to his left. A wonderful save, Stevie Maxwell. You could argue he's at fault for us being in this shootout, but my word has he delivered with the last 2 saves. And now it's Jimmy Lindstrom with 1 kick to win it. Can he put the ball anywhere in the net? I do not care how bad the penalty is. I just want to see it hit the back of the net. Fingers crossed, everyone. I'm going to close my eyes. He scored a fantastic penalty, and we are into the FA Cup final. We've beaten Liverpool, Manchester United, and now Manchester City at Wembley, and we're into our first ever FA Cup final, and I couldn't be more proud of this Torquay side. A slightly disappointing second half to the league season, but the fans will forgive us for that. A wonderful shootout and a wonderful victory. I'm so pleased that we've managed to shock another side. I could not have seen this coming at the start of the episode, and I'm still pretty surprised we've managed to do it now. We're just going to say well done, you're in the final. There's nothing more that needs to be said at the moment. We'll be back at Wembley in a few weeks' time. I can't wait to see who we're going to be playing. I wonder if it's going to be Arsenal or Leicester, but in truth we're just happy to be there. There's the confirmation we've won then. Over £1 million added to the finances. We'll deal with the press conference off camera, and we'll skip a day into the future to see who we're facing in the final. Okay, we're back a few hours later rather than a day later. I'm not quite sure how this has worked out in the scheduling. The second FA Cup semi-final's just 5 hours after the first one. I'm pretty sure that'd never be allowed to happen at Wembley Stadium, but it's Leicester v Arsenal nevertheless, and we're just going to play through it and see who gets to the final. So fingers crossed, who do you want to see? And let me know afterwards if we've got the team you wanted. Leicester v Arsenal, let's see what the result is. We're being teased with a Premier League screen first. That one's worked out quite nicely for us, as the only side in action below us were Blackburn, and they were beaten heavily at home to stay 6 points behind us. Another good step to survival even though we weren't playing. Let's have a look at who won the semi-final. Arsenal won it after extra time. A crazy game there. The striker we tried to sign in the summer scored a hat-trick. Both teams had a red card, and it looks like Arsenal nicked it in extra time, with Lucas Torreira, who's there in real life, getting the winner 12 years down the line. He must be into his mid-30s now, came off the bench and produced a bit of magic. They certainly won't be complaining about that, and he still looks better than any of our midfielders. So let's go and get the confirmation. It's going to be Arsenal versus Torquay in the final. We just want to see it written down though. What a moment that is. The FA Cup final, Torquay are featuring, and it's taken 12 years to have a chance at our first major trophy. What an achievement it would be if we could win this one. We've had 3 shocks already in this run, and even if we do fall at the final hurdle, it's a brilliant experience for some of these lads moving forward, as I'm sure they'll be with us when we reach finals in the future. So of course you know that we're going to show that one before the end of the year. We are going to come back for that one next. If we get into any danger in the Premier League, we will come back and show an episode from that. But while we're just lingering in mid-table, you probably don't want to see that action, particularly when there's an FA Cup final on the horizon. So we'll be back in 2 days' time for that. I really hope you'll come and join me for our first ever major final. But if you did enjoy that fantastic game and dramatic penalty shootout against Manchester City, please do put a thumbs up on the video. I really do appreciate your continued support with the series. Let me know down in the comments if you think we can cause that one more shock and win our first major trophy, and we'll see how many of you are right in a couple of days' time when we return to the National Stadium to face Arsenal. I think we're pretty much safe in the league, so as well as that FA Cup final episode, we are going to show our end of season review. We've got some tough decisions to make regarding players that have been here a long time, but we've really got to start moving forward now, particularly if we win that game, as that obviously means we'll be in Europe next year. But we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves for now, so I'll stop talking like we've won the game already. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay United and our Journeyman series The Head Coach. We're coming towards the end of season 11 in that one, and that's been a dramatic end to the season too, so go over and check that one out if you haven't already. There's also weekly content from my Snooker 19 career every Friday at 4:30, and then we have the odd bonus episode on Sunday at 12 as well. There's also regular content from Cricket 19, the official game of the Ashes. So if you are a fan of other sports games, I do hope you enjoy that content as well. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and we'll see you next time for the biggest game of the series as we play in our first FA Cup final against the mighty Arsenal.